Yo, check this out. Today's gonna be a crazy video because we're watching what did dinosaurs actually sound like. Okay, this one kind of confused me at first because I just think dinosaurs sound like what they sound like in the movies, but it made me think like, did we actually know what they sounded like? So we're about to learn, try not to get educated. Let's go. Okay. See, that's what I was talking about.
Just heard is scientific balderdash. But
before we go, another almond video. I love this guy, Almond the Artist. Check him out. Subscribe to him. Do not subscribe to me.
So I'm going to show you the scientifically proven T-Rex sound. But before I do, I need to show you how we got there.
Okay.
With these three dinosaurs and their sounds.
Okay.
The Ankylosaurus.
How do you know?
For some context, only 2 dinosaur vocal organs have ever been
Vocal
found, making it
organs?
one of the rarest finds in paleontological history. And it just so happens the very first ever vocal organ discovered was from my all-time favorite dinosaur, the Ankylosaur. I mean, look at this thing. It's
pretty dope.
A medieval weapon on its tail.
Yeah.
And the organ discovered is one of the most important components of producing sound in living animals today. It was a larynx. Now, what is a larynx? To put it very simply, it's a small organ that helps animals breathe and make sounds.
Huh.
I'm using a larynx right now. Yeah, but no. See? It's found in both birds and reptiles, but the key difference being birds also have what's called a syrinx. A syrinx is a little more posh. Think of it like a fancy accent. It allows them to produce complex sound. A reptile, on the other hand, usually only has a larynx. It limits their capabilities to very simplistic sounds, like hisses, croaks, and bellows. What does this mean for my best friend, the Ankylosaur? Well, the fact that it had a larynx but no syrinx means that it sounded like an Australian. I mean, it would make more simplistic sounds, is what I meant. However, this larynx was unlike most seen today. While it was similar to birds, it also had huge cartilage rings and bones for tuning pitch. Meaning, this tank of a dinosaur could produce huge ranges of sounds, like grunts, bellows, and possibly even chirps. This massive thing sounded like a bird. Because of its size, though, it's unlikely it produced very high-pitched bird noises. So we have to be wary of that. But after a lot of searching, I found a sound. It's the most scientifically accurate I could find. And it sounds super cool. But before I play it, this is what the Ankylosaur sounds like in the movies. But this is the scientifically accurate version.
Wear headphones. Make sure you got headphones on. Dude, sound like an instrument. That's dope.
This was made by using bird sounds, the information we had on its larynx, and the closest living relatives to it. It is the best we have based on the evidence, but it is speculation. That being said, there is actually a sound that isn't based in speculation. It is the most accurate sound we have from this time period. And it's not even a dinosaur. But in order for you to understand
it's like a little insect or something.
First, I need to talk to you about the parasaur.
Okay,
While
let's
it's
learn.
not the mystery creature I was talking about, it is probably the most accurate representation of a dinosaur sound we have ever made. Many dinosaurs, although we haven't discovered their larynxes or their syrinxes, had hollow crests or chambers, which allowed for air to pass through and in doing so produced sound. The parasaur was one such dino. In 1995, a nearly perfect parasaur skull was CT scanned and modeled. This revealed a complex array of air passages in its crest, which led from the tip of the crest to the nasal passages, likely producing a kind of wind instrument kind of vibe. When they simulated this sound using the CT scanned crest, the scientist who ran the experiment was stated as saying it sent chills down his spine. The ultimate conclusion, the parasaur likely trumpeted extremely low calls.
He had a big instrument on his head, dude. That's dope.
But before I play it,
let's
see what the movies sound like.
Okay.
Lame. Disgusting, actually. I think we should check out the scientific version. Let's go to science. This is the science one.
Oh, yo! No way. Bro, sounds like a boat. Dude, that's sick.
That was nuts.
Yeah, that's
No
dope.
pun intended. So that was probably the most scientifically accurate sound on the list. Other than the mystery creature. You thought I forgot about it, didn't you? I didn't forget about it. The non-dino. The single most scientifically accurate sound we have from the Jurassic period that lived over 165 million years ago was...
That's so long ago, bro.
A cricket.
I knew it.
It was a cricket. The sound was reconstructed by the microscopic wing features of a fossilized cricket. It was kind of similar to how the parasaur was reconstructed, using a physical structure rather than an internal organ. As this cricket, much like its modern counterparts, rubbed its body parts together to make sound, like the wings. So, without further ado, I give you the most accurate
y'all know what a cricket sounds like
has ever produced from the Jurassic period.
They sound exactly the same.
Whoa. Did you hear that? I nearly crapped my pants. Jokes aside, the cricket, while being likely the most accurate, wasn't the coolest. That title is definitely reserved for the T-Rex. And we only have one more dinosaur to talk about before we get to hear it. The Pulausaurus Chinglong. Not a clue if I pronounced that right. So remember how I said the Ankylosaurus was the first of 2 vocal organs ever discovered? No? Well, this one is the second. Literally discovered in 2025. It's definitely the most recent breakthrough.
Yo, they just found this out.
It was so carefully preserved, we could even see very particular parts of its voice box. Which are very similar to modern day birds, meaning it would likely chirp, squawk, or even whistle. In fact, the way its laryngeal elements are formatted puts it in some similarity to ostriches or kiwis. It was a small herbivorous dinosaur living about 163 million years ago, and it was about 2 feet long. That being said, we also know the Chinglong likely didn't have a syrinx. So while it sounded like a bird, it still only had the larynx. So no special songs for this little guy. Funny enough, he actually hasn't made his Hollywood debut just yet, as he's a completely newly discovered dinosaur, but there is something very similar to him in the 1997 Jurassic Park movie. Let's take a listen. Little bastards sound disgusting. Let's take a listen at what science describes it to sound like.
Yo. Imagine 100 of those coming after you, bro.
Like a respectable gentleman, doesn't he?
True.
Okay, well, that was the last dino I had planned. But before we get to the T-Rex, I need to tell you something I haven't mentioned.
That T-Rex got feathers, bro.
The T-Rex was an archosaur, meaning it was closely related to birds and, more importantly, crocodilians. This has tremendous weight on its possible vocalizations. Similar to the Ankylosaur, there's no evidence of a syrinx anywhere in any T-Rex skeleton, meaning it only had a larynx. Not only that, but archosaurs are known to vocalize with their mouth shut. For example, crocodilians bellow by vibrating their throat tissues with their jaws shut. In addition to that, the T-Rex was enormous, being 43 feet long and weighing up to 9 tons.
Holy Jesus.
And being the size that it is, most of the time, bigger animals produce low frequencies. With all of this, most paleontologists reason that the T-Rex likely produced very low closed-mouth rumblings.
Wow.
But there was one paleontologist by the name of Julia Clark. She was one of the few who ventured to recreate the great beast sounds. I'm going to play it, but you need to wear headphones.
Make sure you got headphones on, bro.
Sound ever, you need to have headphones or a speaker system. Please. You'll thank me later. Here it is.
Oh my God. Dude. That's freaking terrifying, bro. Dude.
Bro.
Yeah, T-Rex got it. They are freaking scared.